Hi, I'm Alex Dorff. I'm a senior BFA musical theater major. In the show, I play Theo. I'm also the dance captain, and I'm covering St. Jimmy. And I've actually done a bunch of other shows here. I've done Into the Woods, Spring Awakening, A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum, World Goes Round, Be More Chill, Falsetto Land, 110 in the Shade, and I think that's it.
Oh my God. Hi, I'm London Sperry. I play Alicia, and I cover Heather. I'm a senior BFA musical theater major. I was in Falsetto Land with him, Spring Awakening with him, 110 in the Shade with him, and what else was I in? Oh, and I swung Titanic.
I'm Hannah Michelle Provisor. I'm also a senior BFA musical theater major, and I was in Spring Awakening and Titanic.
Okay, so first tell me what the audition process was like. I've heard that the dance callback was first, so like, what was that like, the choreography, like was it different than any show you guys have been a part of in the past?
Yeah, so actually first we came in with the general audition. We each had to sing 2 songs, and then they called some of us back for the dance audition. And it was a pretty intense audition. I mean, just because this music is so rock heavy, there's a lot of like punk themes in it. So there was a lot of throwing ourselves around. We did some partner work during the audition where we had to push off of each other and use each other's weight transfers. I think the next day we were all feeling it in our necks and our backs. And it's funny because we actually used part of the audition dance combination in the show.
It was in this room, and the mirrors were foggy. Everyone was like disgustingly sweaty. We'd all done our makeup like super nice, and then it looked just despicable after the dance call. But it was really hard and really fun.
Yeah.
What song was it that you guys danced to?
It was I Don't Care. So it was in the Jesus of Suburbia medley. So in like the second number of the show.
Yeah. Actually, Hannah and I were partners during the partner section.
It was the only time I've had to wear knee pads to an audition here.
And you needed it too.
Yeah.
You needed it.
Yeah.
Obviously, all 3 of you have done Spring Awakening in the past, so you've had some sort of experience doing a rock musical. But like, tell me like how this is still so like different from other shows that you've done in the past.
Well, I mean, this is different because it's a lot more current. Spring Awakening is you're inserting the rock into an era that it doesn't really come from. So I think that kind of has its own challenges. And then I think as relatable as that can be because it's about our age group, this is even more relatable, I think, because this is a time that we lived through. And the rock music, I think, is more a part of us in this show.
This show also comes from an existing album, the Green Day album. So it's kind of like putting story with the like album that people know and love. So there are certain iconic moments that we have to make sure we get right. Yeah.
And the music in Spring Awakening is sometimes considered like fairy rock,
Right.
which means it is rock, but it's a lot softer and there's a lot more softer moments in it, and it wasn't really as taxing on the voice. Because this is punk rock, there's a lot of stuff that we do that sounds like screaming, and so we did have to work on our vocal health, especially the weeks leading up to rehearsal, and even within rehearsal, we try to mark as much as we can and really keep our voices healthy so that it's not too taxing.
Did you guys, any of you have any connection with Green Day growing up? Like, did you guys remember listening to the album, or were you like introduced to it once this show came around? Did you guys know?
I listened to Green Day, and I love punk rock.
Yeah,
Were there
like
any songs that you like that thought were familiar?
Well, I mean, who doesn't love Good Riddance at the end? Like, that's such an iconic song. And, well, it's funny because when you listen to the show and you don't think you've heard all the Green Day songs, like, you have heard all the Green Day songs.
Yeah, you have.
And you're like, oh, I know exactly what that is, but I don't remember where I've heard it, or I don't remember actually sitting down and listening to it.
Right.
It's kind of like just reminiscent in the back of your head. So you're like, oh, I do know this.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that.
What's your favorite song in the show that you guys like to do, perform?
To perform or to listen to?
To perform.
Well, we have a duet in the show called Too Much Too Soon, and our characters are kind of like acting as the voices of Heather and Will. And so that's kind of fun because we get to like kind of fight with each other on stage a little bit.
Literally.
And she gets to show off her like riffing chops, which is really cool.
And I get to punch him in the gut.
Yeah, and it's kind of fun to be an ensemble member that's featured in a moment like that because it's less pressure. You don't have to have like the whole, like the audience isn't following your storyline the whole time, but you get to come in and have this feature moment. And it's a song that like once it's on, everybody likes listening to. So I think that's kind of a fun moment.
That would be my favorite to do. I also really like doing the Jesus of Suburbia medley because there's like a lot of just being us on stage and doing things that you would do at a 7-Eleven, and then there's like really like amazing choreography, and it's a lot of fun.
Are you guys all ensemble members? How, as an ensemble, like in past shows, but I think this for this show, like how do you think you carry the show? Because there are the main characters, but like what do you bring to make the show a huge success and high on energy? Like, tell me about that.
Well, I think the cool thing about this ensemble is as much as we are our own characters, for a lot of it, we're also kind of like the mind of the people who are going through the like linear story that's happening. So we're really a support, I think, for the main characters and what they're going through, and we're a way to show the audience what's happening in their minds. So it's cool because we're kind of like doing double duty where we have a character that's like living in the world, but then we also have like how they perceive it, how the main characters perceive us and what we mean in their mind.
It's also, we rarely leave the stage, and it's pretty exhausting, but but it's a lot of work, but I think that without like the big strong like fortress of people behind the show, it wouldn't be so thrilling, I guess.
Can you guys relate to the youthful aggression that, you know, is represented on stage? You guys have the same reaction with me.
Without getting too political, I think now is a great time to be doing a musical about going against the man. And so, I don't know, I just think it's really nice to be able to channel what's going on in the world right now. I mean, regardless of whether you are pro-Trump or anti-Trump or whatever, there's still specific issues that I think everybody can agree that we need to like really resolve in this country. And so I think there definitely is a disconnect between the government and the people, and I think that that's what people were experiencing in 2004 when this was happening. I mean, we had 9/11 and we had President Bush, and I think nobody can look back now and say that that was a perfect presidency. So I think that it's a really nice outlet for us to harness our anger and really use that as part of our given circumstance.
Why do you guys think this is a good show for a college audience, like a college student audience, as far as your generation? Like why? Because I believe that this is a great time, a great age group for people to come and see the show. So like, what do you think, people that are not too familiar with theater, why do you think they will definitely enjoy this show and relate to the show?
It's a show that if you've never seen a musical before but you like Green Day, you'll probably come see this. And if you've never listened to Green Day before but you like musicals, you might listen to Green Day after it, which is kind of cool. So like Green Day is the draw in for non-theater people, and then it's also kind of like
the takeaway.
Yeah, for people who just like the theater. So it's definitely like a young demographic that listens to Green Day, which is perfect on a college campus.
What has been the rehearsal process like? Like as a cast as a whole, like you guys have been enjoying each other, like hanging out?
We hate each other.
Yeah, I mean, like part of the.
And especially as seniors too. Like, are you like, you know?
Yeah, this is all of our last show.
Yeah, I mean,
Tell me about that.
So because it's an ensemble heavy show, honestly, a lot of the rehearsal process has just been us from like 6:30 to 10:30 dancing
like
our asses off.
headbanging.
Yeah.
And And like our choreographer, Michelle Dunleavy, she's super collaborative. It's not like she's coming in and like giving us what we need to do. So I think like it's cool to be part of a process where all of our voices are heard, and especially as one of the dance captains, I feel like I can give input and we take it. And we've also had time to experiment with trying different things, and so it really is a great rehearsal process. And I think like Penn State, our program, really trains professional actors. We all know how to get along. We all know how to get down to the wire when things need to get done, and have a good time while doing it. It's been a taxing and exhausting process, but it really has been rewarding.
What about the set? Like, how's it been going?
I was just gonna say something
Yeah.
about that. Like what Alex was just talking about, we all really have to communicate with each other and listen to each other and be really supportive, because we're moving these huge set pieces with people on them. And like, so we all have to know what's going on and like who's gonna lock the platform and who's gonna be on the stairs, and it's created a way that we're really working well together, because everybody knows what's at stake. So if one person forgets something, then the next person is there to fix it. So yeah, we've been really working well together because we have to.
Any last thoughts about the show? You know, like any message to the audience why they should come? You know.
You're both looking at me.
I know you've been talking about.
Yeah. Why don't you pipe up?
It's a lot of fun, and it's a lot of really amazing direction and choreography, and I think that people will love it.